I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I literally mean it. I've ran 10 times more than what I ran in Rashmi. सारी training वहाँ की यहाँ use हो गई मेरी.
Taapsee we met yesterday for a promotional shoot and she said आजकल क्या shoot कर रहे हो? और मैंने बोला मैं promotions ही shoot कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि एक महीने से that's all I do.
We are banking on the audience being intelligent because the audience is intelligent. They are not. They know what they are watching and they subscribe to thoughts. You know, they are not just sheep that are going to watch something and then move on. Everybody has a point of view, and and in doing that, you have, like you said, you have to bank on people's seriousness when they're watching a film.
Hi, this is Taapsee Pannu.
Hi, I'm Aakash Bhatia.
Hi, this is Tahir Raj Bhasin और आप देख रहे हैं
और बताओ
और बताओ
स्तुति के साथ.
और बताओ में स्वागत है आपका. मेरा नाम है स्तुति और अभी जो 3 लोग मेरे साथ हैं, they are responsible for the film Looop Lapeta जो आप Netflix पे देख पाएंगे. And straight off to Taapsee and Tahir, particularly I want to say, यार relax, दौड़ना बंद करो. एक प्रमोशंस की रेस में दूसरी हर फिल्म में दौड़नी है. मतलब it's just not stopping.
I really want to stop यार. Please कोई मुझे भगाना बंद करो. मुझे नहीं भागना है.
तो इस फिल्म में इन्हें जो भगा रहे हैं, अब उनको इंट्रोड्यूस मैं कर दूं. द डायरेक्टर आकाश भाटिया इज हियर. हाय आकाश.
हाय स्तुति. हाय स्तुति.
रश्मि रॉकी ने बेचारी इतनी दौड़ी
भागी,
मतलब जरूरी था.
उससे 10 गुना ज्यादा भगाया पता है इस पिक्चर में. I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. I literally mean it. I've ran 10 times more than what I ran in Rashmi. सारी ट्रेनिंग वहाँ की यहाँ यूज हो गई मेरी.
You were an ex-runner in this, so it made sense.
Actually,
thankfully, all I had to do was make phone calls. So I'm the person responsible actually behind the scenes for making her run. So
see, you do have another kind of energy because जो promotional spree चल रहा है आपका. I told you last time also, Tahir's, ग्रह नक्षत्र have lined up in a particular way. एक के बाद एक releases. तो 83 के बाद तारीफें ही मिल रही है. Promotions कैसे चल रही है आपकी?
जी बहुत बढ़िया. Taapsee we met yesterday for a promotional shoot and she said आजकल क्या shoot कर रहे हो? और मैंने बोला मैं promotions ही shoot कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि एक महीने से that's all I do. पिछले हफ्ते ऐसे हो गया था जब when the Loop trailer released on that day, 3 projects were being promoted on the same day. But I call these happy problems and it's been like the most amazing opening to 2022 and I cannot wait for the audience to watch Looop Lapeta because it is so different from anything I've done before.
Absolutely. It's very different from anything you both have done before. Ek to, congratulations in store. It's got such a trippy visual feel to it, the movie. So वो देखने में तो मुझे बहुत मजा आया. Tahir, how was it spotting the nose ring? Since I can't talk much about the story, I can at least talk about your looks.
I think हर किरदार में मेरे लिए एक ऐसी चीज होती है जो उसे एक डिस्टिंक्ट अपनी पर्सनालिटी देती है. मतलब चाहे वो डेरिक का स्पोर्ट्स जैकेट हो, सुनील गावस्कर का बैट पकड़ने का तरीका, एंड सत्या का मेरे लिए 2 चीजें थी. एक तो उसका बैंडाना और दूसरी उसकी नोज रिंग. And internationally, it is quite in vogue. I'm not sure how often it's been done in India before, but I was just excited to be doing something that for lack of a better word, just breaks a gender boundary of saying that, hey, this is not an aesthetic that has any gender boundaries. And I think Satya's that kind of guy. It just in that one aesthetic brought about like so much, says so much about him without saying anything.
That is true. Now coming to you, Taapsee, apart from the fact कि मतलब आप बहुत ही दौड़ी है, जो पता चल ही रहा था. Another film where again you're like the strong woman, not the abla nari. अब कभी कोई directors को याद आएगी तापसी की बेचारी किरदार play करते हुए, like ये उंगली नहीं उठा सकती, ये तापसी play कर रही है.
Yeah, that is the challenge given to the directors, but I'll be honest, I do get it. Now, it is strange. Even I am surprised how there's a certain director, there's a certain writer who came to me for a role where I was someone who just so underconfident, couldn't speak up, didn't speak, didn't have any monologue, didn't have any realization, flip over moment, just played that docile, introverted, and underconfident character through and through the film. Now that is a challenge. If I have to play an underconfident, docile character, eventually gets the wings and then, has this confidence, that's done. I have done that. I don't want to do it again. But now the challenging thing was that someone actually came to me to play someone who's underconfident through and through. So that I'm looking forward to hopefully putting that project together in the best possible way, so I can do it. But I'm so glad that people are not slotting me, like the writers, the directors, they are not slotting me in the part that I should be the confident one all the time. I'm glad that's happening, but I really don't have a problem also in being that confident one who is going to be saving. I've been saying this again and again. We've had men playing that for decades, where they just play different shades of confidence in every film, and we are celebrating them as heroes. So why can't I be the confident saving one in every film, in different stories? And I'm totally I'm glad that I'm doing that, because the narrative for the women protagonists is changing now. And it's so good.
Aakash, I want to get you in to the conversation now. You are the one who visualized Satya or Savi में कि ये दो चेहरे होंगे, ये दो किरदार होंगे. And from the first frame, from the opening frame, with that, I'll be careful about not revealing much, but there's a story from the first frame itself. Like you can't miss the opening credits as well. Visually, it's a very, very attractive story, attractive film. Talk us through your vision of the movie.
I mean, see, all of that comes from the script. The aesthetic is not just a look-based aesthetic. It's the way we chose to tell the story. Whether it's the camera work, whether it's the production design, whether it's the sort of campy performance exaggeration in some of the scenes, and all of that comes from the way the narrative dictates it. And in that, obviously, I'm big on authorship. All the co-creators that we got on the film, they are all very big on authorship, and I think we wanted to make something that was not just fresh for the sake of fresh, but also brings the narrative at the forefront. And yes, it is a trippy visual film, but at the heart of it, it's a story about people, and it's a story about choices. So just to make something exciting, not for the sake of exciting, is not why we chose to do this. We let it come through because of the narrative, and it's a fun film to watch. We've definitely जी जान लगा दिया इसमें हर aspect में.
नहीं, fun film watch तो है, but how was it shooting? Because जिस तरीके से एक किरदार के पीछे वो it's characters stuck in a time loop of sorts, and making Taapsee run and getting all of those things in.
It's harder because there's a small detail that changes everything in the sort of the next run, so to speak, right? And then therefore, in doing that, the camera work also is aware of that. All the other elements of the choices of the character are also being done in the way we choose to tell it. So it was a big challenge, and it was a challenge that we all jumped at, because that's what made it exciting. Not just being on set, because that's an exciting endeavor every day anyway, but to go and rediscover something that we've already created and then subvert it for the next run. Those are the sort of things that made it a lot of fun to make. And I think this is a good first film to have gotten my hands on to make. It's quite exciting.
Taapsee, Tahir Abhi spoke about how the bandana and the nose stud was in a way, helped him get understand the character better. आपके लिए इस किरदार में क्या था?
I think it was between Aakash and Rakshi, both of them had to come up with something that I could do. Now, there was one limitation that I had. I was shooting for Rashmi parallel to this. So I couldn't really do something drastically with my look, though I would have loved to. I love to experiment, with my hair or whatever you would want to do it. But obviously we don't want to do the same thing, yet make a new look, something which is drastically different. So with that one limitation, that I couldn't change something drastic with my do something drastically different with my hair, what we could do in given constraints, which will make the look stand out with just a mugshot. So as small a frame as that. So I think these guys came up with this particular look, which was so eye-catchy that says a lot about the extent to which this girl can go. If she really wants to do something, or she really wants to go out and want to change her life from that being that really the athlete who used to follow a certain kind of decorum in life, you suddenly breaking and becoming this person who is just gone rogue in a way, because you're so tired of following a certain set routine. And I was training for Rashmi before, so me and Aakash had this whenever we used to sit for discussions, we had a long chat about from where the film starts, but what happened before with Savi. She probably was under so much of pressure of that a fixed timeline and fixed schedule of the day, that when finally an athlete retires and gives up that schedule, what happens with that athlete? And it's not like a voluntary retirement. This has happened.
There's a lot of resentment.
So now you are like, okay, I didn't plan this, it has happened, and now I can actually break that monotony of schedule in my life, and yet just explore the side of life which I couldn't before when I was that disciplined athlete with all that pressure of father to win, all that. So I had to use that psyche of an athlete that I was probably preparing for in Rashmi and take an extension from there. That what if this would have happened? That's exactly why I kept thinking in my head, this starts when Rashmi ends, because after that last race.
It's also quite literal.
What if? Yeah, it's quite literal like that. What if I would have fallen and then injured, and then what would have mentally gone wrong with this athlete? Because eventually they're very strong-willed people mentally. And then when they break, how rogue and crazy can they actually become? So we took a stem out of that.
One thing that all three of you, I'm sure, share is your love for cinema, and somehow bade parde pe apni film, apna project dekhna gives a different kind of kick. We are all getting used to it. We're all used to these virtual interviews, watching stuff on OTT. But as artists, how do you get your the feedback that you want, or the adrenaline rush that you desire, logon ke reactions se, how are you compensating for that?
I would say, if anything, digital gets you that feedback even faster. You find out immediately you find it out. And we were having this conversation earlier. Not only does OTT get you instant feedback, but it also allows you to pause the film, rewind it in that instant, and rewatch something you liked or didn't like. So it allows you that freedom. And as an artist, what's essential for me is to get work to an audience. And I really enjoy the fact that what OTT has done has sort of diversified the mediums with which you can reach an audience. Some stories will and always will be made for the big screen, and some are just nicer when they're told in a chapter-wise form. And I think eventually, when safety norms get better, both of them can coexist.
Yeah, I'm not really thinking of that half-empty glass right now, because it just doesn't really make any sense for me to think and feel good or bad about it, because it's just not there. So I'm just gonna try and see what best I can get out of that half full. So this film, when it comes out, though Aakash had shot it in a way, if you see, it's a particular style of shooting which would have looked totally different when it was on big screen. But having said that, now with the kind of the layers that the film has, it will be glad that people go rewind 10 seconds to see, what really happened. So that ways, I would say that, okay, it's fine that, it's coming on OTT now. People can actually notice the nuances that they would have missed had it been in the theater. So, and they can watch it again, and the next time when they watch it, they'll notice something new, which probably was not there before they didn't notice it before. So hence that way, I would want to look at this glass half full and be glad about this aspect than missing about that. वो जब आएगा तब देखते हैं.
OTT has also changed the way we watch films. पहले एक ही बार देख के review करना था, मैं भी 2 बार देख रही हूँ, because I have that luxury that I can go back and rewatch a portion. Aakash, particularly for you, because this is a brave subject, like you said, it's clutter breaking, particularly in the way it looks. Indian audiences bolte rehte hain, are so used to being spoon fed, or there's a particular language where you want to state things. Did you tweak that a little, or aap logon ki intelligence pe pura bharosa rakhte hain?
No, I think I just feel that a lot of films don't take their audiences seriously. You keep giving them back and regurgitating the same thing that they've watched over and over again. And I think we are banking on the audience being intelligent, because the audience is intelligent. They are not. They know what they are watching, and they subscribe to thoughts. They are not just sheep that are going to watch something and then move on. Everybody has a point of view, and in doing that, you have, like you said, you have to bank on people's seriousness when they're watching a film. we have tweaked it to a point where if you don't get something, you don't feel stupid. But if you do get and pick on something, you feel like you're the only one who's gotten it in the room. And in that's something that's again part of just putting pen to paper and just getting that detail right.
This is going to be my last question to the three of you. मैंने फिल्म देख लिया, I've enjoyed it. Rest तो review में निकलेगा. But I just want to hear your favorite thing about the film. It could be something about your character or anything that you loved while shooting. Taapsee, we'll start with you.
The best and the worst thing. Best to, as an actor, to do, and as an audience to watch. The worst is the stress that you have to go through to do it, is doing the same thing 3 times in different ways. Yeah. So be it just plain simple running the same stretch, with a different body language every time, or just reacting to the same set of people in different ways when they are dealing with you in the same way. Just that, as an actor, it's exciting. I mean, it's exciting when I was reading the script that, okay, I'm going to do this in different ways. But I'm going to come with a different hangover every time and different outcome every time.
Yeah.
But those people out there, they are doing it for the first time every time. So it's an exciting way to, how differently you can do things in the 3 runs. And that was the best thing to do, but the worst thing to do as well, because it was exhausting.
Exhilarating and exhausting. Yeah. Tahir?
I've grown up on 90s Bollywood, and the kind of films that I used to love to watch were films like Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na or Rangila, where it's a flawed hero, where it's a hero that doesn't necessarily have the answers, makes mistakes, but is still lovable. And there are just so many of those moments in a very different language in Satya that I really enjoyed playing. I think any moment that I name at the moment will be a bit of a spoiler, but just the instances that are in the trailer are the jewelry store that you see has some incredible moments. There's a climax moment with Savi that is just like, every actor's sort of dream come true, and it just gave me that opportunity to play a flawed yet romantic jholar.
Perfectly put. Aakash, final word to you.
Like Taapsee said, I think the entire adventure was to tell this story and tell it again in a different way, and just make one person aware of the loop and everybody else behaving like they've not been in one. Yet a small little change in their life also sort of changes a lot of things. You are a different person when you've eaten, you're a different person when you've not. And that small little detail is something that we had a lot of fun with. My favorite memory though was the first day of shoot when we set the camera up. Yash was done lighting. The costume was ready. Taapsee came on set, and I saw the frame, I still get goosebumps thinking about it, because that was the visual that I had imagined for the set, for the bathroom, for the look, for a period of a year, and to see it finally on camera, it just blew my mind. I called Taapsee to come see it. She said, "No, I'm not going to watch anything. I'll watch it in the theaters." And that day and today, Taapsee, I don't think watched a single shot as it played out, but that was I still get goosebumps thinking about it, because it was all in this head, and I'd been trying to explain it to everybody, and all of it came together when the cameras started rolling, and it was stellar.
Taapsee नहीं देखी अभी तक?
Picture तो देख लिया.
No, I know picture देख ली है. I don't see monitors, so I only see it when it's edited and put together. I don't see parts या फिर frames वगैरह मैं नहीं देखती.
ठीक है, हम तो we're looking forward to the movie, but what I can say is it's extremely exciting, and as usual, a total pleasure chatting with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stutee.